KZN is ready and safe to travel. So why not invite Abontase and take a leap from the Orabi Gorge Swing, the highest swing of its kind. From the mighty Ukahlamba Drakensberg Mountains to the warm KZN beaches, Ziyakhipha. The Zulu Kingdom is an action-adventure paradise waiting to be explored. Unforgettable happens here. Zwagala.
We make our return to the Sugar Ray Xulu Stadium. That is where the proceedings of the COSAFA CAF Women's Qualifiers will be taking place from today all the way until the 13th of August. It's been a fine host. We saw fans coming out in their numbers to support Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Costa do Sol. Weather temperatures also dropping. We did speak about weather temperatures that were a bit overcast, but there was a bit of sunshine behind the clouds. But now it is starting to get a little bit chilly with a bit of drizzle that we experienced just a little bit earlier as well. So temperatures have certainly dropped. But this is the tournament that we are participating in this whole week. It is a COSAFA Women's Championship. It is all about the qualifications for booking that place in Morocco for the Women's CAF qualifiers. Hello and welcome to you all from all across the globe. Welcome back to the Sugar Ray Xulu Stadium. We are building up to our second encounter of the day. It is all about Group B now. As we wrapped up our first encounter of Group A, it is Green Buffaloes that will be playing host to Young Buffaloes, a new team making their debut in the CAF qualifiers today. So let's just remind you as well of the teams that will be in action this week. It is Mamelodi Sundowns, Young Buffaloes, Green Buffaloes as well. Costa do Sol from Mozambique. Double action ladies makes a return from Botswana, and then Olympic de Maroni, which is a team from the Comores. And so certainly it's so interesting to see three new faces coming into this tournament and just seeing how they will fare going into some of those matchups. But earlier on, this is how things unfolded for Mamelodi Sundowns. 8-1 is how things unfolded, getting that early goal. We know Murifi and her crosses and her pace going down the wing, but it was that exceptional finish as well from the ladies. We know that Andisiwe Koche, she's not afraid in front of goal. She was one of those top goal scorers last season, and so Melinda Khadiete as well, prolific player as well. She's one that is also not goal shy, but this is a team that came very, very hungry coming into today's game. They played an unknown team. They didn't know what to expect, and so they did not let their guard down. Andisiwe Koche with her brace in that goal, but it did not end there for Mamelodi Sundowns. There was that handball from Costa do Sol, which then resulted in Uzanele Nhlapo rather converting. The captain also getting herself on the score sheet of this game. But the goals just kept on coming because it was just that pressure that was coming from the Mamelodi Sundowns attack that really pressed them so high that they were struggling to get those box entries. When you look at Costa do Sol, they only had one shot on target. That already speaks about the fact that it was a really, really tough game for them. But our player of the match, Melinda Khadiete, stepped up as well. She also got her name on the score sheet, but this is a goal coming from Minis. She made her debut today. She's the player, of course, who's from Vasco da Gama. She was the player of the tournament at the Sasso League, and she comes in. She's a new signing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and she gets her goal coming in as a sub in the second half. But the goals also kept on coming as the pressure defensively was on Costa do Sol, and they had no answers as Mamelodi Sundowns were firing from all cylinders. But they did eventually, it did come full circle for them eventually as they finally did get a goal. But it was as well Costa do Sol as well who finally did have that response, but they really took time getting into the game. It was just one of those moments where it was a lapse in concentration with Nhlapo conceding that penalty from one captain to another captain, converting Sedalia, converting for Costa do Sol and making sure that at least they pull one back for the team. And this is how things translated. It was 8-1, a huge goal margin for Mamelodi Sundowns. Costa del Sol, plenty of work to do going into their second game, but now it is Green Buffaloes taking on Young Buffaloes in the Group B encounter. Wow, I did meet up with both the coaches, and this is how they have planned for both these sides. Coach, I appreciate your time. Just missing out on the final last year. Are you the team to beat this year?
Yes, we'll fight for our position to find a place in the finals.
Coach, we cannot talk about Green Buffaloes without talking about the experience and the addition of those players who won third place at WAFCON, and just how much of an impact they will have going into this tournament for Green Buffaloes.
Yes, we expect them to bring in the experience they got together with the exposure to bring it in our game.
We know from last year's experience that one of your strengths was your defense, as you had one of the best defensive records. Is that something that you're also going to be using going forward, just being a problem for opponents?
Yes, we will maintain our strong defense, but we have brought in new strikers. Last year we suffered because we didn't have enough strikers. We used the defenders to assist in striking force.
So what will you be hoping to see from some of those new players? As you said that you were using the defense, now you've got strikers, they can take the load. What are you hoping to see in terms of the balance of your team?
Yes, we expect them to add more firepower up front and get goals for us.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Sure, you are welcome. Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Young Buffaloes makes their debut in this year's edition. What are you expecting in this tournament?
What we are expecting, we're expecting that we play very well and continue up until the final.
Now, last year we had Manzini Wanderers from Eswatini. This time around it's your team. You come against a very defensively tough team. How much of Green Buffaloes do you know?
I didn't know much about Green Buffaloes, but you have seen some of the players in the national team. Didn't know much about them.
Let's talk about the 9 players that play in the national team and how much that experience is going to help you going into this tournament.
Having players in the national team, it will help us a lot, as they have the experience playing outside, as they have been in COSAFA many times.
And Coach, if maybe you can also just talk to us about just preparations ahead of this tournament, how it's been with the travel and just preparing for some of these teams that you've never played against.
We have done our preparation very well. We have been given time. As we finished our league, then we started the preparation for the tournament. We will play our normal game here, as we have prepared, as we have been champions. We've done everything to come to the tournament.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Thank you very much.
9 players for Coach Fisiwe that play in the national team, 6 for Coach Charles that play for the Zambian national team. So experience is the name of the game for both these teams. In commentary, we do have Mr. Farouk Khan, who joins us, as well as Mr. Sugar Business Tamba Boy. The first half is up next.
Thank you very much, my millions. Well, talking about experience, here's an experience for you. It's the returning Zambian powerhouses, Green Buffaloes, who take on newcomers, Eswatini's Young Buffaloes. This a Group B encounter in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champions League. It's match day 1. Hello and welcome. Guadabega to the north, New Germany to the west, Wellsville to the south, and Reservoir Hills to the east. We are live from the township of Claremont at the 6,500 capacity Cedar Sugar Ray Xulu Stadium, named after a former SA Black 11 captain, Sugar Cedric Xulu. What a player he was. So here's a question for you. When two Buffaloes meet, I guess it's only right for me to ask, will the real Buffaloes please stand up? It's Zambia's finest against Eswatini's best. It's match day 1. Let the grass burn. Suffer at the expense of our entertainment. And in terms of what it feels like here in this particular precinct, it's a touch just under 80% humidity. Sun has considerably stayed away since the first kickoff. but nonetheless, pitch conditions pristine. A slight wind as well to contend with for the players. Speaking of the players and what these fans will be taking in, we've called them from different parts of the continent and they've come. Who are they? I'm talking about the current holders in South African representatives, Mamelodi Sundowns. You got debutants Costa do Sol of Mozambique, as well as double action of Botswana in Group A. Group B sees last year's semi-finalists in Zambia's representatives, Green Buffaloes, pitted alongside another of the Buffaloes, though of Eswatini, that being Young Buffaloes, and the Comore Islands, Olympic de Maroni. That's Group B. As the flags are flowing, will the football follow suit? Let me unpack it for you while we can. The top club in each of the two pools will contest the final at the COSAFA Women's Champions League, where the victor will earn a place at the 2022 Total Energies CAF Women's Champions League final that is scheduled for Morocco later in the year. The runners-up in the pools will contest for the bronze medal in Durban, which would be some sort of consolation for not reaching the decider, of course, as the two teams step out. Green Buffaloes, of course, in green, and the Young Buffaloes in orange. You'd be excused to think it's Zambia versus Holland. It is not. It is the best in African football, female elite football at that. Two new regulations, I might add, to the competition in itself. As you see, the skipper for Green Buffaloes as we head down to pitch side for what it looks like potentially, I was gonna say national anthems. I heard the stadium announcer almost sort of setting it up, but nonetheless not to be for this one. Gives me a chance as well, just to go back to the point I was raising. Two new regulations for the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champions League. You got two alterations, which include substitutions as well as other aspects. Well, we'll get to that. First up, what is the starting 11 for Charles Holobani? He goes with a lot of experience. I count 5 Zambian internationals, 5 players who are part of the WAFCON squad that so bitterly missed out on a final berth. Got the likes of Natasha Nayangwanye, Martha Temba, Agnes Musasi alongside Lushoma Mwemba in between that defense, protecting Blessing Kozilo, the 18-year-old. That was a shot of Young Buffaloes. This is how they line up, led by a former Eswatini international, a big icon in women's football in Efisiwe Hlope. She's also called on some big names and some experience. Of course, this side, runaway leaders and runaway winners of the Eswatini Women's League. And so doing, then getting their position, or rather securing their participation in the competition. The likes of Nobuhle Mdluli, the captain, as Mazwi Dube, Sepesihle Ndlovu. As this is the coin toss. Today's referee is from Botswana choice, Sonia Tseng, to be assisted by an official from Madagascar, being Heralina Asombola, as well as Nandi Pamenze, the second assistant, or fourth official is Matabo Kolokotwane. I'm not alone. Alongside me is I call him the walking encyclopedia of football, and Farouk Khan. Yesterday you were in you were doing the Chiefs and Royal AM game. You have now swapped your hat for some COSAFA action. A very good afternoon to you for this 3:30 kickoff, Coach Farouk.
Well, Temba, always a pleasure working with you, and what a refreshing feeling I have when I'm working with ladies football, to see how it has grown in leaps and bounds. I mean, fantastic to see the professionalism. Just sitting here and watching the earlier game where Sundowns really dished out a hiding of 8-1. But in saying that, it's really very, very refreshing and promising to see our ladies taking the rightful place. And hopefully one day we'll see these ladies lifting a World Cup.
Speaking of a World Cup, we do the continent of Africa, or the country or the Republic of South Africa. We do have the privilege of saying we have the current CAF winners in terms of the best in the Republic of South Africa. Banyana Banyana, as they're fondly known, Queens of Africa. Hopefully they will really represent not just Southern Africa, but Africa as a whole to the next World Cup, as women's football and African football is on the rise. We are live. Green Buffaloes attacking the goals from left to right, while young Buffaloes defending the goals from right to left. Now, Farouk, you mentioned such a great point about the performance of Mamelodi Sundowns. Ladies, of course, the defending champions themselves put up, and we were sitting there and just taking in, you almost schooling me in terms of the tactics and how it's all evolving, and it's not too far away, truth be told, from what's happening in the men's game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the gap is getting smaller. Obviously, women's football is on the rise, and I think now we're talking about equal salaries. But we have to firstly compliment the people that have revolutionized football in South Africa. We spoke about Banyana, talk about Fran Hilton-Smith, you talk about Desiree Ellis, who's been there from the beginning. And I think these people have contributed tremendously, very silently. And to see several players now playing in some of the top clubs in Europe, I think the men's game can take a leaf out of that.
Now his first chance of falling to the Zambian side. Another very confident looking finish from Helena Chanda. And she then gives up a respective thumbs up. Say thank you for the pass, but no thank you on the finish.
Yeah, not the best of finishes there, far off the target. But I suppose both of these teams need to get sort of settled before we see some fireworks. But this Green Buffaloes team, I watched them in the warm-up, Timba. They really look like a very technically well-organized outfit. And I'm sure they're going to put the young Buffaloes under tremendous pressure.
And you mentioned settling in. There was unsettling from a young lady you see in picture there. Soku Luhle Sibanze. There's a troublesome clearance that she initially attempted, quickly put under pressure, and they've been under pressure ever since in the opening 2 minutes. Now that pass though loose, and perhaps it'll be the pressure valve just slightly easing.
What we did discuss off air was the fact that when you look at the way Sundowns approach the game, much more patient in their approach, circulating the ball, waiting for those triggers up front. And you can see there now, just watching this game, it's been an instruction that pressed them high, forced them to make mistakes.
You can clearly see it. They know perhaps that Sibanze's kicking game is not the strongest. Now, they show themselves, the young Buffaloes, out they emerge from the pressure cooker. Teliwe Nkambule was brought down. Just a quick one, Coach Farouk. You mentioned Banyana as well. I mean, the achievements out in Morocco and Rabat. They became the third nation to win the WAFCON title after Equatorial Guinea. Incidentally, we have 2 titles, and Nigeria a whopping 9. Of course, so that seeing Banyana being the first winner of the tournament since Equatorial Guinea in 2008. What an achievement. That puts it in context as how hard it is to win WAFCON.
Yeah, especially when you have a Nigerian team that has been outstanding over the last decade, and even before then. It comes back to what we discussed, Emma. The fact is, when you have your ladies and men's team getting the proper structured development from an early age, you are going to produce some fantastic footballers.
I mentioned earlier at the top of the program some of the minor alterations the tournament organizers have made. Things like the squad size has increased to 25 players. The number of substitutes increasing as well, Coach Farouk. I'm sure you like this one. To 5 per match. More options to troubleshoot.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have players coming in and having an impact on the game, changing the game. But going back to Banyana again, I think the fact that what makes that victory so much sweeter is they played against a team from Morocco who are on the rise as far as development is concerned, a young team. But there we see a situation almost getting in there. So I think that's important for us to look at it and say, what are we going to do now moving forward? Because part of our success is the Pretoria High Performance Center that was started a while ago, and you can see, Temba, whether we like it or not, the best players have come from that program.
Ironically, not just the best players, with the Commonwealth Games still going on as well. A lot of elite athletes have come out of there. Casta Semenya ran under the banner of Ducks. Kane Simbini ran under the banner of Ducks. All of them trained at where? At the HPC.
Well, I tell you, when you have a very good structure and you blend it in with football science and good tactical know-how, you will get success. I can remember at Kaizer Chiefs when we were the Rand Afrikaans
That
University,
Rao,
the Rao Kaiser Chiefs program. There was some very good results that was attained from them.
Moral of the story, D for development and investment.
Well, there's
Forward
a saying.
pass from Temba.
There's a saying that goes, if you do what you've done and you expect, what's the definition of insanity? If
Doing
you
the
do
same thing and expecting different results, yeah. Now that's insane. Martha Temba, the Zambian international, just taking an eye off at a crucial point. I have to say, the weather looking slightly ominous here.
Well, let's
Getting
just
darker and darker.
let's hope it just the Rangers holds off a while, because I think we're in for an exciting encounter. You can see both teams here having a go at each other. We thought the Green Buffaloes will be dominating, but the young Buffaloes are looking like they not just coming out here to add the numbers.
Anyway, will do for the Green Buffaloes. Defense problem is now Helen Chanda is a lone figure up top. I think I've noticed that a couple of times. They will boot the ball forward, but there's no support. It's just Chanda and herself.
Well, that is when you play that forward pass too early, but this looks like a great pass.
That was a nearly moment. Nicely weighted pass. Now a chance here for Chanda. She lays this on a plate for a teammate. It's a Sunday. Finish your food, Teresa Tweme.
Well, that was a golden opportunity for Chewe. I mean, if she was set up, it was like that ball was given to her on a plate, and she should have done much better. Played it across the keeper, could have been the better option. Look at that defense splitting pass, and I think the finish wasn't what it should be.
It was a golden chance. Battling is Ines Chinguleze, an exotic name. Young Chinguleze plays just behind the striker in Nobukan Zulu, who is the captain. Zibanze should easily deal with that, and she does, showing all the experience in the world, of course, now goalkeeper, coach and player as well.
Yeah, I know she's done very well at the start of this game. You know, she's kept them at bay, good distribution as well. But what I want to highlight is the fact that that midfield, the technique, the playing intelligence that we've seen, the ability to dissect the young Buffalo's defense with those defense splitting passes has been really something wonderful to ponder in.
Of course, another reminder, only the final will have extra time if teams are level after 90 minutes. As well in the third place playoff.
Well, they say if you have a midfield that is a high level of IQ, and that will obviously give them an opportunity to make those defense splitting passes and confuse the opposition, and this is what we see from Green Buffaloes. Every time they see a trigger, they're able to latch onto it.
First corner of the game to the young ladies from Zambia. The captain is to deliver a ball. Joanna Benai. In our home language in South Africa, Iagai, just to keep the flow moving there. Chinguleze. Nice cut from Temba. Crossbar. Chanda. Offside. On count. Good save from Sibanzi. They had a lot of venom on it, and she just tilted it onto the crossbar and saved a shot that was goal bound and looked as for all money. Was going to hit the back of the net with power.
Well, she made up for that earlier ball, which she should have done better with. Punched it clear, just played it back into play, but did ever so well with that follow-up shot from the Green Buffaloes.
Now on the counter-attack come the young Buffaloes, not the Green Buffaloes. But what happened to the Green Buffaloes is also happened to the Young Buffaloes. Flag for offside.
Well, the back four of the Green Buffaloes are doing extremely well to push a high line. And, the Young Buffaloes unable to make a timeous run in behind and were judged offside.
Yes, Helen Chanda. She's can't miss her with the blonde braids.
Yeah,
really mobile and pacey.
Pacey, physically strong. You can see she's very intelligent in the type of runs she makes. She's very mobile. She plays like a false nine, you know. She's not static.
I think, though, a dynamic of a game that I just quickly have latched onto. Back to goal, not a strength. She wants to be running through on goal as testament to that pass, that straight pass when she was put under pressure or facing away from the goals. Skill. Plenty of it from Lushoma Mwemba. You'd expect that from a Zambian international.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got solid defenders. They're good they're athletic, and they deal with it, build up very effectively. And even the counter-attacks, we saw both the centre-backs there, Mwemba as well as Musase, very comfortable on the ball.
Of course, I mean, you speak about the defense. There's one defender looking to turn on the offense. Chewe from a delicious pass from Temba. That's a great tackle. Outstanding from Welile Ndwandwe. That's great play all around, from the movement to the pass from Temba to the block from the young lady Ndwandwe.
Yeah, she had to time a tackle perfectly, and she did so well there, Ndwandwe, not giving away a penalty and ensuring that that cross wasn't going to come across.
There's something clever here from the Zambians. Lungu. Cut just outside the D. Looking for something creative in the box. A player you would expect the creativity to flow from, Teresa Chewe.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on this Young Buffaloes team, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I'm also starting to get that feeling that it's just a matter of time if they get it together, Green Buffaloes. Of course, Farouk, this is a side full of pedigree. What footwork to just shift it from the left to the right. But as well, let's give it to Sibanze Sebenzile. Tipped it on top of or onto the crossbar. Martha Tembo, undoubtedly the star player in the opening 12 minutes. I mentioned their pedigree, Farouk. You've got the Green Buffaloes aside, who are here for a second year running in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship, having reached the semi-final last year and shown all their quality. They lost to eventual champions Mamelodi Sundowns, but only by slender 1-0 scoreline. Perhaps many will say the one side in the competition to give the Brazilians a run for their money. So it's nothing to scoff at the fact that Young Buffaloes fighting with Green Buffaloes on equal footing.
Yeah, thus far, but it's there's a thin line where I think the Green Buffaloes have the edge.
Yeah.
They look like a team that could go toe-to-toe with Mamelodi Sundowns.
Of course, if you looked at last year's participants, now that is silky. That is soft like feather. Excellent.
It's like a basketball player using his hands to control the ball. Great technique.
I think even Cristiano Ronaldo would have been proud of that. Yesterday's participants, Zimbabwean side was Black Rhinos. Zambia, guess who? Green Buffaloes. Double action. Well, they brought the action all the way from Botswana. Tura Magic turned it on in the hopes of, carrying the hopes of Namibia. While Manzini Wanderers on the side that were replaced by Young Buffaloes. This young lady has been mesmeric to watch. Temba playing almost as a central midfielder from right back. I've only ever seen one player control a game from fullback. Great Brazilian fullback Marcelo, in recent time anyway. Could pull the strings from left back, play as if he's a central attacking midfielder. Temba's doing exactly that.
Absolutely. Dani Alves comes to mind as well.
Dani Alves as well. Good one, Farouk.
Yeah, I think the Brazilians have had a history of producing them Cafu. And that is so important to remember. The modern fullback is not just a defender. He's an offensive weapon. If he's not overlapping, he's underlapping. And I think you spot on when you look at the qualities of Tembo. She's looking to get forward. She's looking to stretch the Young Buffaloes.
Of course, the Buffaloes have set their sights on qualifying for the Total Energies CAF Women's Champions League, to be played in Morocco later in the year. And of course, for optimism with the number of players from the Zambian squad that won a bronze at the recent Women's Africa Cup of Nations. But Eswatini's young Buffaloes as well, no slouches. Maverick, here's a stat for you. In the winners of the regional league, in the Eswatini Women's League, played 24 games this year in their domestic campaign and won all 24.
Sure, that's good.
Scoring 221 goals in 24 matches.
Wow. Well, you got to ask questions about the opposition then as well. I mean, take nothing away from them. 200 odd goals, that's a lot of goals.
I've got another stat that's going to bowl you over. That's 24 matches, 221 goals, none conceded in those 24 matches, while scoring 221 goals on the way to the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Champions League. Wow.
Yeah, well, I suppose that in itself says they are completely dominating that particular league. And it's going to be a while for somebody else to take.
Well, that almost fell for Chanda, who was on the move. The ball in the opposition box, and miscommunication almost gifting the Green Buffaloes.
Yeah,
something there.
Keeper doing ever so well again.
Yeah.
Once again, Sibanzi there, ensuring that she hangs on to the ball. I believe she's also the goalkeeper coach.
Yes, she is. So if that had went in, who does she blame herself? Can't turn around and say, "Coach, yeah, I am the coach."
I am the coach. Yeah, I need to, and that's why she's got a lot of responsibility.
Floodlights are on here at the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. Just a touch under 7,000 capacity Cedar Stadium. It was one of those used in the 2010 World Cup as well. We have had quite a number of reserve league games in the now DSTV Diski Challenge played here. And we're here 2018, if memory serves me correctly. The floodlights have added a bit of light and ambiance as well. If you add it.
Well, talking about how unfortunate the Zambian ladies were, even in the
WAFCON.
Yeah. We beat them by the penalty goal that was awarded, and
very debatable penalty.
Yeah, I mean, on the balance, I still think we were better than them, to be fair. But again, it wasn't an easy encounter. It clearly showed that their football is on the rise, and we know with Zambia they have a great history with men's football, and it seems like they're just continuing now with the ladies' game.
I mean, if you look at the COSAFA men's tournament, they are synonymous with winning the competition, 5-time winners. Zambia, the most successful side in the competition's history. Then you've got the Green Buffaloes, who are arguably one of the better sides in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champions League. The Zambian national team winning a bronze at WAFCON. I mean, they're on the up.
Yeah, if you just look back at their history, I mean, they produced great players, the likes of Kalusha Bwalia. The list is endless, but I mean, what a player. And if you can see the pedigree, I mean, there was a time when they had a team that was star-studded. They lost those players in the plane crash. I mean, there was a huge loss, yet they were able to recover from it. So yeah, I think they really a credit to African football. I mean, a country that has produced as many top players as they have, even in the PSL. I mean, who can forget about our great goal scorer from Kaizer Chiefs?
I mean, he
still holds the record.
He still speaks. I mean, I saw Patrick Mabedi on the bench, for Zambia as well. So he's done it.
Patrick Mabedi is from Malawi, I think.
Yeah. I beg your pardon. Sitting on the Malawian bench. I just wanted to test if you're still alive.
Okay. I'm still on the rise.
Love to see it. Tulisile Vuba gets the first yellow card.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Collins. I mean, Besuma, what a striker. I mean, physically a physical specimen. You couldn't bounce him off the ball. He'd shoot with both feet. He had an eye for goal.
Still to date with the highest tally of goals in the Chiefs shirt. I don't think those numbers are going to be well matched, given what we've seen at the start of the season for one of Africa's biggest clubs, Zalamakosi, with a new coach at the helm as well in Atazwane, a former club legend.
Well, I think, to be fair, Shalulile gave it a shot, but he just fell short of that target, even though Collins wished him well.
Yeah, he probably wished him well, but secretly said, "Nah,
It's
don't
not
do
going to
it.
happen.
Don't do it."
No, he's definitely wished him well. He's just that type of guy who wishes everybody well. One of the most wonderful people to have coached. Very coachable, had no ego whatsoever.
Nicknamed Ntofontofo.
Tofo.
Yeah,
I mean,
soft one.
what a fantastic part of the Amakosi history. He was a part of that. I was fortunate just to be a small part of that as well.
Yeah, just a small part. No several gold medals and titles in your trophy cabinet. None of that. And interestingly, you mentioned that Peter Shalulile, as we see this attacking move on the left-hand side for the young Buffulos. He just missed out by 1 goal in terms of most goals by PSL player in a calendar year, set by Wilfred Mogay back in 1997.
Zimbabwean.
Yeah, 24 goals.
Yeah, the Mugai twins. What a
remember the
combination.
brothers. Fine company. That's a foul. They're from Chanda. I mean, you got Esau Kanyenda, Gilbert Moshanga Zike, Daniel Modao. As you see this trip here, what players those were. Wow.
Yeah, those were phenomenal players, and they really gave a lot of flair and excitement to football, because it's what goals is, what football is all about. You know, people love to see goals.
Speaking about goals, we are still goalless here at Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium, but not from a lack of effort. With the team in green, one that's come closest. When you look at the current men's Zambian side, at the likes of Ricky Banda, the man from Red Arrows, 21-year-old, the top goal scorer in the Zambian Super League. Kelvin Kampumbu, Prince Mumba. Future looks bright for Chipolo Polo. Talking about bright, the sun has decided to come join us finally.
Shedding some light on the subject.
Do we need more lights?
I don't know, we can't switch it off now.
You can't switch it off, eh?
Gotta leave it on.
Don't talk too much. You might just alert somebody at ESCOM there.
No, don't say that, eh?
It's part of life nowadays. Nonetheless, we'll shed more light on the football than other matters.
Well, you know, we spoke about dumping, and you can see how clearly how Zambia is doing, or Young Buffaloes is, Green Buffaloes is doing that. They're looking to create space by ensuring that they dump it and then find the space in behind.
Now, Farouk, for those of you at home who don't understand what that means, we're not talking about recyclables. In football jargon and coaching terms, exactly what does that mean?
Well, it means in football you want to always ensure that you create a situation where you invite pressure, where you invite pressure to create space. And I think 3 ways of doing that is by ensuring that you dump the ball when you're under pressure to remove the structure and organization of the opponent, to change the point of attack, and individual brilliance where you go one-on-one with opponents, just to get them out of those structured setups that we often see in the modern game. You know, people play with a very structured setup when they defend 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, whichever. And to break that well-organized structure, you need to use those 3 aspects.
Chance at a shot. Did think about it. Did Natasha Nanganyangwe. Here's this lovely little player, Martha Temba, arguably the star of the opening half as we cross the halfway mark of the first half, to the feet of Che, where she's been quiet, but nonetheless they come alive through Lungu. Can she deliver a ball and chops it back onto the left foot and then releases a shot? Sibande covers the near post.
That was an excellent individual effort. We spoke about challenging, 1v1 challenges. That's one way of attracting pressure. I think the right word is, how do you attract pressure? Well, once you attract pressure, you create space and time, and that's what she did. Unfortunately, the shot wasn't as good as it should have been, but you have to compliment Sibanzi for closing the near post.
2 precious commodities in competitive football, time and space. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, and it's scoring and defending. Temba with the throw-in. Quick cross from Martha. Headed away strongly, impressively so, by Sipilisi with Ndlovu. The captain hasn't been too involved. Green Buffaloes, Joanna Benai, she hasn't had to. I think the mantle has been picked up by the likes of Temba, Chanda and Chewe.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal up front. You know, playing in that front three, they've put young Buffaloes under tremendous pressure. I think the other thing we need to clarify is the fact that they're using the possession very effectively to disorganize young Buffaloes and to organize themselves, because sometimes possession is kept for the sake of keeping possession, and often you find when possession is kept and the opposition is disorganized, your team doesn't take advantage of it. They don't play that forward pass early enough. They lose possession carelessly. And I think this is something coaches need to take cognizance of. It's not just about possessing the ball. It's about using possession as a means to disorganize your opponent and to organize yourself.
I think that's what the defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns ladies team do extremely well. I mean, the way they just move the ball around with purpose and efficiency. They're playing within a framework, a positive framework. And today, 8 goals for them. And this way, Ngoyi scored a brace. Melinda Kaidiete scored a brace as well. Goals from Minis Mulaudzi and Captain Nklapo.
Well,
days
if you're saying that, Temba,
office.
well, you're saying that it's a copy of the first team, the men's team. You know, it's that uniformity across the board. When you watch a Sundowns team, whether it is under 12, whether it's the ladies team, there's a great similarity in the way they play, and that's that unique philosophy which I think they're looking to cement at all levels.
You speak about all levels. I think the women's team exhibited. The men's senior side, who are the current reigning DSTV Premiership champions, which is our local league, exhibited in bucket loads. I think they're just missing the trick slightly in their reserve league team, that being a competition called the DSTV Diski Challenge. Maybe still a work in progress, that one.
Yeah, I think, you know, you have different generations of players coming through. I think they have to really dig deep and ensure that they have those youngsters coming through into the DSTV, but also ensure that those players make the jump into the first team so that the team doesn't go out and constantly having to buy players. They have to look at having players that grow up with a mentality, grow up with that philosophy. A good example is your Barcelona of Pep Guardiola, your Man United of Sir Alex Ferguson.
See what Bayern Munich as well
as well. Because you'll only see true continuity and consistency when you have your own homegrown talent promoted and emerging into the top ranks.
Speaking of homegrown talents, we've got one of the WAFCON winners having penned a new deal with the Italian side Sassuolo. That being Rufile Gianni, or some call it Jane. Whichever way, nonetheless, she's still a baller.
She's still a baller, and a classy baller.
Classy ball indeed. A winning baller with a medal around her neck right now from the recently concluded WAFCON.
Yeah,
that's a Cinquelese. Now, some light work here from the young Buffaloes. I think they're tired of defending. They want to show why they scored 221 goals in 24 matches in their own domestic league. Well, what they would give for one of those 221.
I promise you, they didn't play like they're playing here on the transition. They possibly went on an all-out attack.
Chewe, ball allowed to bounce. Sibanze comes out, palms the ball away half-heartedly, but it worked nonetheless. Here's Ines Chinguleza facing her own goals. Ngoza gives it to her teammate, who I think that was not the intention. She was looking for Nkambule, who was in a better position here. Maybe just pointing where she initially had intended the ball to go, not to be.
Well, I tell you, they're very stubborn, these young Buffaloes. They don't want to give up.
I mean, there's a clear sign of the stubbornness that you speak of. Mazwai Dube, shoulder to shoulder with the clearly faster Lungu, still fought. And they just have a corner for their troubles. That's coach Fiswe Klope. Great player as well in her heyday. Played between 2002 and 2015. When she turned her attentions to coaching before hanging up her boots. Was a player coach back in 2015. Then officially hung up her boots in the year after. Another one. In one season in the Eswatini Women's League, scored 86 goals in a season. Not even Ronaldo or Messi or the original Ronaldo have ever scored so many in one league.
Wow.
Crazy. Mwembe. Oh, silky. Nang Yangangwe. Looks for the pass. Big stretch. The ping. Ngoza says no. Temba says yes, I'll receive the ball. Mr. Captain Panay, is that a shot? Come pass? Not quite sure. Nonetheless, all I do know is Sibanze has done well whenever called upon. Usokuluthe Sibanze. What a pass that was. I don't know if she meant to do that. That being a Mailen Mulenga.
Well, if you look at the way they build up, it's something that they've probably done in training, looking for that forward pass, looking for the number 9 early and playing off the 9. This is the way Zambia play. They're not looking to play, across the face constantly. They're looking to play off that forward pass, and it's very effective. It's just that the young Buffaloes have been very good defensively.
I think the keeper has done really well as well, marshalling that defense in the face of pressure. It's easy to buckle with the onslaught of the Green Buffaloes marching at you time after time after time, but Sibanze, wow, it's really stood firm in the pressure, and that bodes well for the rest of her defense.
Well, that's what they call experience.
Can't buy it.
Can't buy it.
Can't get it in a plastic and
you
take it
earn
home. Oh, now will that change? It's Lungu! As soon as we speak about the experience, Irene Lungu shows her offensive experience. Sibanze finally beaten. They are well worth this lead, Green Buffaloes. It is they that have been on the front foot frequently and forcing the matter. First goal for Green Buffaloes in the 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Champions League. For the ladies, it's Irene Lungu. Good goal. Just over half an hour of play.
Well, what I like about this goal is the way Irene held off her defender and still had the ability to pick a spot. It's always difficult when you got a defender that tight on you, and under pressure, she was still able to place the ball like you would do with a penalty in the corner.
Confirmation of that goal scored by a winger, Irene Lungu. Fantastic goal. The presence of mind, despite a player being right on her shoulder, to just find the angle and squeeze it past Sibanze. Outstanding, really. I think Coach Charles Olubono will be really happy with that, and perfect time as well to score with the game just over half an hour. Edging closer to the halftime whistle. I think the game continue it being scoreless. That gives more hope to young Buffaloes and more confidence.
Well, they gave it their all defensively. They sat back, they absorbed the pressure. But as we said earlier on, Temba, when you defend like that, eventually you're going to crack
Something
it.
must give.
Yeah, it just looks like one moment. They say the game is made up of 90 minutes plus, but it takes one moment to change the complexion or the outcome of a game, and they've just done that, Green Buffaloes.
The question is, what does young Buffaloes have in their locker? Because it was clear from the start, the game plan was defend and play on the transition, get numbers behind.
Absolutely.
Now you have to be expensive now.
You got to come out now.
Throw that out the window.
Yeah, when you come out and you leave space with the pace we've seen from Chewe, Lunga, as well as Chanda, it's going to be an uphill battle for the young Buffaloes.
A chance to cross for Nkambule. Does find the cross, but no takers. There's no movement at all from a shirt in orange. That's a bit disappointing after initial great work from Teli Nkambule.
Well, for me, a player like Mwemba really showed the composure and the maturity. She never panicked. What a fantastic first touch in defense and playing out of defense. So that central pairing of Musasa
And Mwemba, yeah.
and Mwemba, they're really formidable. It's going to take a lot for young Buffaloes to break them down.
You know, when you say Musasa, you remind me of a former Pirates player, Kampamba Musasa.
Musasa.
Yeah. He used to wear the gloves and had
Yeah,
an
what a player.
expensive hairstyle as well.
What a player. Kampamba.
I wonder where he is now. That's Chanda. Yeah, gone are those days, somebody says. A long time ago, before the days of Wi-Fi and hashtags. Oh, that's great read. That's exceptional awareness from the Zambian fullback. And again at it, Mulenga.
Well, Temba, you speak about the left back. That back four of Green Buffaloes is really an impressive back four, and I think they're going to give the likes of Sundowns a lot of work to break them down. We've just seen how cool and calm they are, how well organized they are, the telepathy between them, the understanding, and that's so important. You know, you build your team from the back, and I've just noticed this is quite an impressive back four.
As well, add to boot the offensive personnel. Goskura Longu, striker Chanda, winger Nangwe. I mean, these are really good players. Once you cross the halfway line, she is Lungu, the goal scorer, but put the commentator's curse on as soon as I pick her up. And she loses the ball. Mulenga cuts in. Yeah, was never on because the run was never continued by Teresa Chewe.
They also have a very nice balance between youth and experience, Green Buffaloes.
Oh, that was I was going to say exceptional touch as well from Kambule. And I mentioned the weather earlier, Farouk. If it does rain, you out at pitch side as well, and you notice something, a lot of sand under that grass. Is it going to turn into a mud bath?
Yeah, there's a lot of sand and the grass has been cut very thin. I think this is what they call scarifying. They do this at this time of the year to ensure there's good growth, and it's necessary to do so, but it can become a bit hazardous for players if it rains heavily.
Ladies and gentlemen, Farouk Khan, part-time coach, full-time
Horticulturist.
farmer.
You got to know this as a coach. You need to know your surface. Eh?
Yeah, yep, indeed. And you're one of those guys who know more than just what is on the surface. You always go deep and in-depth with your analysis. Much appreciated. An injury concern here for Italiu and Kambule. The young Buffaloes are down to 10 players. That's not going to be good for them. Chanda has played most of the first half back to goal. Captain Benai. I don't think I've counted more than 4 passes between the young Buffaloes players in their opposition half. Something perhaps point of contention for Coach Fiswe Shope. Temba. Not a player she looks to be.
Yeah, she's a good idea. It's just the weight of the pass there from Tembo. She's done ever so well. Maybe a bit on the heavy side. But you know, you spoke about them not being able to make more than those number of passes you mentioned, and it's because of the way the Green Buffaloes press them. You know, there's 3 aspects. It's possession, position, and pressing. And in all 3 of those aspects, they are doing extremely well. That is Green Buffaloes.
It's a nice pass, nice move, but nice, not good enough. Temba, very interesting position she's played this first half. On paper, she's put down as the right back, but it's played more as a right midfielder, always tucking in.
Well, it's the way the Green Buffaloes have set up. I mean, the 2 fullbacks play high up, so they stretch you, but they have a very good central midfield in Zulu who keeps that, who links up between the 2 center halves and herself. And here you can see once again, she clears her line. She's intelligent. She doesn't make mistakes carelessly. She doesn't lose the ball.
There she is again, following the ball and following the play.
And I think that's so important now. Look at it there. They deal with those situations very effectively.
Also not scared to go long if necessary to Chanda. don't think necessarily that is her strength. Hold up play.
Look how intelligent she was there. She realized she couldn't go for the eyeball and she just held back, waited for it, and then dealt with it.
5 minutes before the halftime whistle. It's been a good watch. The lead having been taken by last year's semi-finalists in Green Buffaloes via Irene Lungu. After some great build-up play, the winger slotting it past Sibanze. There's a mistake by the Young Buffaloes defense. Captain Bunai has a look around the field to assess her options. As Molenga and Co come knocking. It's Mwemba, and the header is brilliant. She's due a goal due to a hard running. Helen Chanda using a head that is filled of golden braids to find a golden touch to put Green Buffaloes 2 goals to the good. 4 minutes before the halftime whistle.
Well, clearly the dominance is coming out in that goal from Chanda. Well-timed run, but you've got to compliment the cross as well and the individual brilliance that led to that cross. Fantastic there. Good break there from number 4, Mwemba. And look at the cross. I mean, fantastic.
Near post run as well to anticipate that space, identify the free space. Really good team, this Green Buffaloes.
Well, I can understand why they are such a good team. They're well organized, they're well structured, and they know how to manage the game. You know, they were struggling to get that goal, but they persevered and they waited for the right opportunity, and they're now 2 goals to the good.
They are on course or on par to repeat their score line or margin of victory, should I say. Or is that going to change? Not to be. They beat Black Rhino Queens of Zimbabwe by 2 goals to 0 last year in the competition's opener. It's 2-0 to them as well.
Well, the goalkeeper there, Mwana, she said thank you to Young Buffaloes because it's the first time she had to make the save.
Yeah. That was what, 42 minutes is taken. Young Buffaloes to test Blessing Kazilo. Just give all some credit to a small congregation of fans that have stayed behind and have enjoyed or endured as well the slight cold conditions here at Clermont, or in Clermont, the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. Of course, the Sundowns having played in the first game, you would have thought people would have went home because it's a Sunday, but nonetheless, real credit to those fans that have stuck around and continue to enjoy great football dished up by these 2 sides.
Well, I think we're all enjoying the spectacle. It's really, now you look at the clock and you say, wow, it's really been exciting from both teams. One from a defensive perspective, the other one from an offensive perspective.
Oh, a mistake here. Chanda in for a second. Sibanze has to save her defender. Wow. That was a mess.
Very careless, eh?
I think the fact that Sibanze doesn't have much of a kicking game, it's so easy to sort of read what they're going to do. She's going to pass it to the defender. Defender will look to turn, then clear. And Twene had noticed that and quickly closed the space.
Yeah, the pressing was perfect.
Yeah.
They were perfect. I mean, they realized that, you know, they're unable to play out of the back. That is Young Buffaloes. And they were almost made to pay. But the keeper there, once again, Sibanze, has been outstanding.
2 minutes of injury time. It's Nanyangwe. Impressive Judith Zulu, silent killer. Again, the commentator's curse comes back to bite me.
No,
As
but-
soon as I give a player credit, that happens.
No, but you weren't very far off the mark. It was a long pass. It went out. But look at that there. I mean, you could have said goal, set match. But once again, the keeper's experience came to the fore. She did ever so well, keeping her body, putting her body between the goal and the attacker there, which was Chanda.
Yeah, I think she's been a big part of keeping the score down, Sibanze. Now 7-0. Farouk gives me a chance just to get your thoughts of the half that's been and the half that's still to come. Where we've come from, where we're trying to go.
Well, clearly, there's only one team in this game that is going to take all of the 3 points here and move on, and that is Green Buffaloes. But you're going to compliment Lope for her team and the effort they've shown. They haven't made it easy for Green Buffaloes, even though Green Buffaloes are the dominant team. They've given them a run for their money and have been a little bit unfortunate to have conceded the way they have. But take nothing away, Green Buffaloes is a formidable team.
They really are indeed, and credit must be given to young Buffaloes as well for making this a fist of it. Mentioned earlier, the start of the game, will the real Buffaloes please stand up? So is it the Green Buffaloes that have stood head and shoulders over the young Buffaloes? Farouk Khan.
Yeah, they have.
And with that, halftime whistle from referee Joyce. Seonyatseng brings an end to a captivating watch in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champions League. A half that has seen Green Buffaloes really bust this game, but young Buffaloes, as we mentioned, they themselves have not been really outplayed as per se, and they've really have put in a hard shift, but I think it's a lack in quality up front that has really been the difference maker, in midfield as well. So at the halftime break, it's the side from Zambia that holds all the aces. It's 2 Green Buffaloes, 0 Young Buffaloes.
Mzansi, KZN is ready and safe to travel. So why not invite Abondase and take a leap from the Origi Gorge Swing, the highest swing of its kind. From the mighty Ukahlamba Drakensberg Mountains to the warm KZN beaches, Ziyakhipha. The Zulu Kingdom is an action-adventure paradise waiting to be explored. Unforgettable happens here. Zwagala.
And in the first half, these were some of the big moments that shaped the first 45. It was Helen Chanda with a clever spot and found the run of Teresa Chewe, unmarked at the back post after ghosting in. And she managed to smile in the end, but I don't think she would have been smiling had Young Buffaloes gone up the other side of the pitch and to score. In the first real big chance of the game. But Chewe was to turn provider for Irene Lungu, who hit the byline or just outside the box, chopped it from a right foot, called it with a left. Easy pickings on the near post for goalkeeper Sibanze, who was being overworked at that particular point in time. Great skillful work. They faked as if she was going to cross, giving herself a chance to then unleash a shot towards goal. Now, Martha Temba has pulled the strings from right back, almost playing like a central midfielder. And it was from that initial pass that got Lungu in. This time around, the Green Buffaloes in short, they squeeze the ball past the wall that has been Sikoluhle Sibanze. Icy cold finish from Irene Lungu to see the Green Buffaloes ahead. But Mulenga was involved after some initial great play as well. And so did Mwemba. This cross, the run, Chanda, back of the net. 2 Green Buffaloes, no Young Buffaloes. Experience, Plenty of it. What a run that was from Lushomo Omwemba as well. The presence of mind to look up and spot a teammate. The run of Chanda unnoticed. At this point in time, it was all the side in green. And that was to the jubilation of their teammates. And they almost made it easier for Green Buffaloes. Ndwandwe got dilly-dallying on the ball. Sibanze had to bail her teammate out after it was her initial pass that put Ndwandwe under pressure. Yeah, Coach Alumbo says, Kamu. Take those chances as you've done prior to that. What a first half it's been. And statistically, that's what has happened. No shots on target for Young Buffaloes. They'll be worrisome. They've had less possession. But I think defensively, they've really not really allowed Green Buffaloes to run away with it and can hold their heads up high. Perhaps it's a focus now on what they can do offensively as we head down to pitch side with Mbali Sikiri.
I'm pitch side with Me Brenda Kunda, who is the chairperson of the COSAFA Women's Committee and a COSAFA exec member as well. Thank you so much. Good to have you once again. Let's just talk about the COSAFA representation in WAFCON this time around. We saw Zambia, we saw South Africa finishing in the top 3. That is incredible for this region.
Very incredible, and that goes to show how much COSAFA region has put in investing in the women football in this region. And as you from what we saw, we obviously going forward we want to see more teams going there. And with the current championship league that we have right now, you can see that it's also very, very competitive. If you look at what we had last time, we have 3 new teams that have come in, and that goes to show that women football in the region is actually growing. So you've got other teams now that have come in to be at the championship and trying to get a place at the championship. So now all it means now is that we're going to have 2 teams at the championship, because we have Mamelodi Sundown who will be defending champions, and out of whatever will get the best runners up, we'll be able to get or the final at the final who's going to get the cup should be able to get to Morocco as it is. So there are so many developmental programs that are happening in this region, not only in women footballers, but also even in administration. So we have quite a number of programs that we've always lined up to ensure that we bring up the standards of football in the southern region. As you well know, that southern region is very strong, and we are trendsetters for this region, and I think Africa as a whole, we're doing so well in all the. I think it's in all the areas, whether it's refereeing, in coaching, in the teams, in footballing, and the number of nations that are actually participating at AFCON. We had 3, unfortunately, we couldn't get the other one to go in. But yeah, going forward, obviously, we are going to work very hard, and we are still developing. And from our developmental programs, we can see that we've also started even sports in schools. So that again is a sign that we're also doing grassroots level to ensure that there's continuity in what we're doing as COSAFA.
Brenda, I have to ask you, because last year we saw other teams from other members in COSAFA, the likes of Tura Magic from Namibia. Well, we know with Black Rhino the situation in Zimbabwe, but just the reasons behind why we're not seeing more members taking part in the CAF women's qualifiers in COSAFA.
Well, that's some of the things that we are definitely going to be working on, ensuring to see that we encourage the MAs that are not having the women to participate. I think basically you have to look at every country has different challenges when it comes to women football, and so we need to look at what is it that we can help them as COSAFA once we know and understand what the problems are. But overall, we believe that every country should be able to come to the party and ensure that we bring as many teams as possible. We would definitely want to grow the Championship League from the 6 that we keep getting. I know last year we had 7, this year we've had 6. But what is interesting to know is that now you see now it's new teams that have come. So So then you can actually tell that in the other countries, there's a lot of competition that is going on, that you find that the first team that came, it's not automatically that they'll come the next time. So I think we definitely need to look at that, and we are working on that to ensure that the competition grows bigger. And we want to thank you, Hollywood Bet, for having come on board to ensure that this Championship League takes off and takes place again. And going forward, we're looking forward to having them again.
Thank you so much, Mekunda.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mekunda, just talking about the impact of women's football and just how it's grown in the COSAFA region as well, and certainly having two countries, Zambia as well as South Africa, representing the COSAFA region. But back to the matters of today, it is Green Buffaloes that are 2 goals ahead over Young Buffaloes. We spoke about the defense of Green Buffaloes and just how tough it was. If you remember exactly from last year, this was a team with one of the best defensive records. Certainly, you've got Temba and Mwemba as well as Mulenga just dictating that back line and just keeping Young Buffaloes out. But Young Buffaloes struggling to really get into that final third. So finally, they broke the deadlock, and it was those goals from Irene as well as Chanda who just broke that deadlock and managing to go into the half 2 goals up. So it is in favor of Green Buffaloes, but there's so much of work to do for the Young Buffaloes to come back into the second half. But certainly they have 45 minutes to play, and hopefully they can bounce back. Let's get into the second half.
as Mamelodi Sundowns, they got the first win of the competition in Group A. And it looks as if Green Buffaloes are halfway there to getting their first win in Group B. A couple of substitutions to report for you in the form of Patience Makakula of Young Buffaloes, as well as an alteration for coach Charles Olumbano, one of his new players in the squad. And Natasha Manyangawe, the Zambian international, was part of that Zambia squad that finished third in the competition. Now that's a lovely sweeping move from coach Chopper's side, and not to be though. So yeah, player she did replace, that being Nanja Wawe. Told is Teresa Chewe. We'll just pick up who Makakula came on for. Wears the jersey 19. She came on for Nobuhle Ndruli. Captain, not a great outing for the skipper. Ines, I think Chingoleze will be leading the line. Mr. Teliwin Kabule. It's been interesting 45 minutes, and that all transpire here, because Young Buffaloes were not too far behind it. Yeah, you look at the score and you think, yeah, easy pickings for Green Buffaloes, but truth be told, they really defended stoutly before great individual team play outdid them. I think pound for pound, they cannot stand with Young Buffaloes or with Green Buffaloes, but nonetheless, they do have the minerals to compete. Still subs on the bench, ready for the two coaches. A reminder, an alteration for this year's competition, 5 subs as opposed to the 3 from previous competitions. Alongside me is Farouk Khan, who just got word that Manchester United are losing 2-1 at home to Brighton.
Yeah, well, we expected more from them, but then again, as they say, it's early days. You never know, and doesn't mean I'm a United fan, Dimba.
Yeah, you support the other side of Manchester.
The side that's playing the good football.
The side that's winning.
The side that's winning.
And in terms of the winning side here, it's the side in green. That's Temba. Natasha Nyangwawe, who came on, is from Green Eagles, a native Zambia.
That name Mulenga, synonymous with quality, and I think this left fullback of Green Buffaloes clearly is living up to that name.
He's one synonymous with Zambian football as well. Mulenga. A lot of pressure must be on your shoulders if you do have that last name. As well as if you have the last name Chamanga.
Yeah, also very popular Zambian footballing name.
And you remember former AFCON winner James Chamanga. Younger brother Luka Chamanga plays for the Zambian the class of 2022. He was part of the COSAFA men's squad, the senior men's squad. James really playing a key figure here, that being James Chamanga in that 2012 AFCON win for the Copper Bullets. As Farouk Khan's lunch arrives, the biggest plate you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Quite healthy though, I have to give you that much.
Yeah, you guys are working me very hard here. I need to have the right sustenance and proteins. Well, it looks like the young Buffaloes are looking to go on the front foot. They've pushed a lot of numbers forward. They're looking to hit the front row of Kambule and company.
Yeah, I think there's been a change of tact from Coach Trope. There has to be, because it was clear from the start that they were here to defend for their lives and then hope for those counter-punching moments in the attacking third. Great touch from Inez Chingoleza, brought the ball under her spell, still continuing to toy with the Green Buffalo defenders all around her. Had a quick look at her during the warm-ups. Player blessed with great technical ability. Has been playing in that number 10 role. Good read from the attempted pass from Mazwi Dube. As captain Benai. The goal creator Mwemba looks forward. Ball is a dangerous one because he was allowed to bounce. Another new player, Natasha Mayangwe, almost profiting from that ball forward.
Well, she showed great persistence and won a free kick. It looked much closer, but I think it's where the infringement took place, which was exactly on that particular spot. She fell in the box, but the infringement was outside.
I think the young Buffaloes player needed to take that foul for the team, because Mayangwa was really in. After that was her 1v1 against that young lady, Sibanze, with a fantastic first half. At times it was Sibanze against all of Green Buffaloes. Lungu, Mayanga conspire over the ball. It is suited for a right footer. And both of them are right footed. Maybe something from the training field. Skip by Lungu, touched back onto the direction of Nyangwe. He went for a low shot, and somehow the ball inevitably ends up with the lady who started with a move, and almost Chanda nodding it in at the back post. But she was adjudged to have fouled someone in the build-up to that.
Well, a very intelligent free kick. She just ensured that she redirected that ball so that it gave the kicker that window of opportunity. Unfortunately, she didn't strike it as cleanly as she should have, but a bit of creativity. Look at what she does here. I mean, just that touch, just to create a bit of a break in the wall, which did happen, but unfortunately the shot didn't match the ingenuity of that particular free kick.
In the meantime, some running repairs for Helen Gwande Chanda, who is the main striker for Coach Charles Halubono, head coach for the Green Buffalo side. We saw in the first half the effectiveness of Temba and how they played. Here's the sub. And Gwande, not for the first time. Sibanze again stands in between Green Buffaloes, running away with this game, or stomping all over the young Buffaloes' hopes of a Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Champions League final berth. And really a good side, but Sugolu Sibanze is a great goalkeeper by the looks of it. First time I have the pleasure of commenting on a game that she's playing in. I'm being really impressed by the player coach and goalkeeper coach Sibanze.
Well, it's just the anticipation and the way she closes down opponents. She reads the game so well.
Of course, young Buffaloes last tournament before getting themselves to a good position to win the whole thing. Beat Black Rhino Queens in Durban 2-0. Mulenga was on the score sheet for them in their 1-0 win against Tura Magic. Tura Magic of Namibia. And then in the semi-final, though, didn't go their way. The biggest win in the competition is a 1-0 victory in Tura Magic. Heaviest defeat lost out to Black Rhino Queens in 2021 and 2-0. Have a 33% win ratio in the group stages. Touched by Lungu. Gives it. Wants it back. Will not be so, as the ball was long. Towards Joanna Benai. Look to salvage that move because the pass was not precise enough. She's been good as well in terms of deflecting away any flow of attack coming in her direction. And there being Sipilisiwe and Ndlovu. Almost at times a lone ranger alongside Sibanze in that young Buffalo's defense. That's Lushomo Mwemba.
The star of this show. She controls the game so well. Besides the wonderfully taken cross that she made for Chanda to score.
There was a foul there. It should be said that young Buffaloes as well, somewhat of a bit of a rebuild. 8 new players that have been able to introduce to the squad for this particular competition. Some of the regular faces left behind at home. When you look at the Green Buffaloes, got 5 players that have been drafted in and have been signed onto the books. The likes of Aisha Gama, the reserve goalkeeper, Regina Kayambona of Mufulera Wanderers. There's Helen Chanda, Natasha Nangwanyo, who's on, as well as Biala Chileshe. It really has become very dark now. Just cast your eyes all over the pitch and the periphery. See the beautiful sprawling township of Claremont. Turn. Save.
Wow.
Rebound. Ball is still alive.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this much. Sibanze has stood head and shoulders above anybody defensively. And that was a fantastic save.
Really fantastic save indeed. How many times have she put her body on the line to stop a shot or a cross from the Green Buffalo attacks?
Well, the score could have read totally different if it hasn't been for her and those fantastic saves.
Now here comes Nyangangwe as a chance to cross. Does find a teammate in green. They laid back to the goal scorer. Lungu has a thought about it for 2 seconds, delaying it. Clip back into the dangerous area. As Mark Fish will call it the kitchen. Crossbar. Goal kick.
Sure.
Wow. How did they not walk away with a goal in that move?
Sure, they threw everything at them. You talk about the kitchen, there was a kitchen sink. It was the tumble dryer.
The dining room table.
Everything, and still they couldn't get the back of the net. Look at this. Ball comes across and you can see clearly there. Wonderfully taken charge. Takes a deflection. And again the keeper there, putting her body on the line.
Oh, did you see that, Farouk? Look at who gets the last touch. Ochoa's a shot prior to the chance from Nyangwe. Nyangwe, as she's about to release the shot, Chanda looks to get a foot in and perhaps try to control the ball. Unwittingly blocks the ball onto the crossbar.
Well, that lady, Sibanze, has been outstanding, and we just keep on singing her praises.
How long can she hold on, though, before it's a third for Green Buffaloes, and probably the last nail in the Buffaloes' coffin, the young Buffaloes.
Yeah, well, one of the Buffaloes have to go down. And it seems like the young ones have to give respect to the green ones.
The young ones. There's a great saying. War is all about old men talking and young men perishing.
Just look at the quality there once again from Mwemba. Quality player.
Quality player, this Mwemba. This Green Buffalo squad is full of quality all around the pitch. As they move the ball around the pitch.
But I think you have to give credit where it's deserved. Somebody told us about that particular player.
Indeed. Our colleague Mbali Sigidi was privileged enough to be part of the competition in the year 2021. Just before the game said, watch out for jersey 4. Lushomo Mwemba She's my favorite player, close quotes. I can see why.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, when she said it, I thought, okay,
Yeah,
let's see what
defender.
happens.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Maybe she's going to have 1 or 2 good moments, but wow, what a player.
Look, we've been made to eat humble pie indeed. What a player she's proving. What a player this young lady as well is, Martha Temba.
Yeah, definitely. They have quality all round there. I mean, you can't forget Lungu as well, the Chewe as well. I mean, they just have so much quality. This,
Zulu in midfield.
Zulu. I mean, playing in that number 6 position, that central defensive midfield role.
Injury concern for Ndlovu, arguably has been one of the best players behind goalkeeper Sukulu Sibanze. Only 22 years of age, the young Buffaloes fullback. Has really been in the wars and has defended extremely well in the 1v1 situations against the likes of Lungu, Chewe, Chanda. Sounds like a song. Lungu, Chewe, Chanda, Musase.
Are you a composer now?
Hey, look, I'm here all week.
Is that your other job?
Album coming out soon, Farouk. Hour of play. Still the Green Buffaloes with the 2-goal cushion. First half goals by Irene Lungu and Helen Chanda. She should be okay to continue by the looks of it. 22-year-old Ndlovu. I have to say, we haven't seen as much of Martha Temba as we saw in the first half. Now that's a great piece of control. But how about that for defensive awareness and the usage of body and then the vision on top of that from Mwemba again.
And the quality of the pass, don't forget.
Yeah. Nyangwe eliminates one player, but then got too excited after that.
Yeah, you can see she's a young lady getting into the game. She's going to gain experience. What I like about her is ability to take those risks. You know, you can only learn from those experiences, and definitely one to look out for in the future.
19 goal attempts overall in an hour worth of play. 18 of those have come from one side. 7 in total shots on target. I wonder if they're listening to the commentary and watching as well on the stream. Of course, you betcha. Some of the dignitaries here. Double sub coming up for Green Buffaloes. It's Musase and Nyangwe about to come off by the looks of it. And to come on is Anita Mulenga. As well as Memory Ntala. And that's the score is, things stand just over an hour worth of play. And Buffaloes ahead and comfortable. They've not been troubled as much as I thought they would be in the second half, apart from that opening 5 minutes of the half.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the number of saves the keeper had to make, there hasn't been many, maybe 2 or 3 times she had to pick the ball up. And it clearly shows their dominance and not forgetting their defensive quality in that back four.
I see Coach Strop as well as summoned one of our bench players. Just getting her braids tied up in anticipation of the war.
Well, it seems like Zambia is making quite a few subs. In fact, 2 subs are going to be made by them as well.
So Office Musase, the centre back, replaced by Anita Mulenga. There's Agnes Musase. Started the game alongside impressive Lushoma Mwemba. Eventually been told, oh wow, Yangawe has just been taken off as well. For Memory Ntala. Must correct myself. Initially I thought Yangawa was the second half sub, but in fact started the game in the first half. And has been replaced by Ntala. Well, for Young Buffaloes, is Simangele Nobuhle Zikonze needs to come on. Looks like some rain is about now. In fact, forget about it's here. Drizzle. Is this the bloodbath or mud bath, should I say, starting between the Buffaloes?
Let's hope not. Let's hope it holds out for another 20 minutes plus.
Shikonze is about to come on for Coach Shlope, hoping that that'll be the change that'll at least get them believing what's still quite big chunk of the game still remaining. 25 minutes. And she's to come on for Mazwi Dube. Highly anonymous was Dube today. Very difficult. In fact, it's Nokutula Dlamini. Same could be said for her as well. That Young Buffalo's midfield just overrun for much of the game. It's interesting as well, the pedigree of this competition. You got 3 teams who competing in this year's competition who reached the semi-finals in 2021, being Sundowns, Green Buffaloes in double action. So I guess it's triple the action. That drops in for a goal. More goalmouth action by the sub, Anita Mulenga. Was that her first touch, Farukan?
Well, it was a fantastic touch. I can't say if it was the first one, Temba, but it was a fantastic touch. And for a change, we've seen Tsibanzi just losing that particular battle. The flight of the ball caught her one thing, and unfortunately for her, didn't get enough. And Mulenga, they're overjoyed from scoring from the set piece. Look at that ball. She flights it in there. It's got the right height, and it just dips at a particular moment where Sibandi was unable to get enough on it.
How she was able to just get it to dip at the last second.
At the last second, and I mean, you look at Sibandi, she wasn't that far off a line.
Yeah.
But it's just the quality, and you know, the big question is, was it intentional? I think she'll say it was.
I think she'll say it. It is all day, every day. And man, I think sometimes you are at fault of being overly critical of the level of goalkeeping ability of some of the ladies in the women's game, but Sibanza is a top keeper, as we've seen, and to be beaten from that distance with a viciously dipping ball in the wet rain of Claremont.
Well, I think we're going to call it a raindrop.
Oh, like that. Well done, raindrop.
So you see, you're not the only composer. I'm a
see
poet
that.
as well.
You're a poet. You didn't even know it. That's more like a mic drop from you. That's somebody we've barely mentioned. 18-year-old Blessing Kazila. Anyway, we'll do there for Mulenga. Don't think she meant Chanda.
Did you see the dump again?
Yeah.
You know, play it forward, triangulation, dump it, and then look for the forward pass.
Look for the forward pass again. Benai Lungu. Very skillful player. Socks right up to the top of the knees. That always gives it away that players all about pace and skill most often than not. Made most famous by the French great Thierry Henry back in the mid-2000s. Ever since, it's just been part of football culture now. It's a good pass. Touch. No look. But has eyes behind the back. Chewep. Oh, this is a well-coached young Green Buffalo side that know who's where at which time and for what reason. Chanda. Lungu. Again, that's that Zambian anthem with their last names just rattling off in the tongue.
That was a quality build-up. They showed patience. They changed the point of attack. They circulated the ball, and not the shot wasn't on target. But you got to compliment the way this Zambian team showed the quality in that particular build-up.
Judith Zulu passed just slightly behind the goal scorer Mulenga. Slotted in very nicely alongside Mwemba, arguably my player of the match. Sibanze not far off.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna put the finals date in my calendar.
I know what you're going for.
I'm looking forward to that Sundowns.
Sundowns and Green
Buffaloes
Buffaloes,
game.
yeah.
I'm already picturing it. It's going to be exciting to watch. Both teams quality.
I'm not going to be as confident as you. I'm going to keep my verdict until I see double action in action.
Yeah, well, I suppose, yeah, you can't just, but look, my prediction is that this Buffalo side is going to take something special to knock them off their perch.
But I like they can mix it up. They can play long, they can play short, play possession, can defend.
Look, they just look so comfortable technically and tactically well organized, well structured.
And the only question I do have is, how do they respond to going a goal behind? What is the game plan and what is their mental fortitude?
Well, I think on what we've seen, on the evidence of what we've seen, they're a team that can play in both phases, both defensively, offensively, and I don't think much will change, because they have one thing on their side is their technical excellence, their leadership, and obviously Mwemba. That's the other thing they have on their side.
Here's the aforementioned Mwemba. 19 minutes of play here. You mentioned the firepower of Sundowns within their ranks. I mean, they scored 22 goals in last year's competition, 18 goals in the 3 group games, with 6 in each. They're 22 in 5 matches as the end of the competition, or ended up the competition conceding only once. That's very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, and it was quite heartwarming to see that the coach was a player that we once worked with.
Yeah, I think you used to coach him, Jerry Chawalala.
Yeah, I mean, he was overjoyed to meet with us, and I was overjoyed to see him, and the progress he's made.
Now, speaking of progress, that's Chewe. Add progress cut short. Heck down in the challenge. Attributed some of the success to you as well.
No, I can't claim anything. I think he has to take all the accolades. You know, having had him as a young player doesn't mean we can claim, you know, as they say, success is many parents, failure is an orphan.
Failure is an orphan, yeah. So humble, Farouk Khan.
You got to give him the credit. I mean, he's done extremely well in the women's game, and he's definitely a coach for the future.
Sundowns, of course, the continent, or voted continentally the best team, female team on the globe, or should I say the continent.
And it was a proud moment to see him being nominated as, you know, although Desiree won it, she earned it.
Oh, nice reverse pass from the captain. Lungu want to get a brace. Having seen what the Sundowns ladies have put out today. 2 players already vying for the golden boot in Khaidiete as well as Nkoyi.
Yeah, we spoke about the other factor, challenging with the ball, drawing pressure, and she's done that so well. Look how the defense is disorganized.
I'm really so talented. Lushoma Mwemba. Wow. Can do it all. Mind you, she's a team center back.
And look at her, and it just gives a new definition to the fact that when you involve in the attack, you can be a center back. Okay, the keeper can't really, because obviously her role is to ensure that she protects the goal. But there's a good definition of the modern day center back. It's no more the modern day fullbacks. You have to have center backs that can be involved in all 3 phases. In the initial phase, which is winning back possession, in the build-up phase, and in the finish.
Can I get you the email of the Manchester United Ara? Can you send them that?
I think you're really feeling bad about the fact. What is the final result? No
2-1
idea.
to Brighton. 2-1 to Brighton.
Not a good start.
Opening day loss at the Theatre of Nightmares, it seems.
Yeah, well, I suppose people will say it's a work in progress.
It's been 8 years. Chanda, the here and now, missed by Lungu, air shot, scuffed. 15 to play as Green Buffaloes seek a fourth to comfortably just stride to the top of Group B. Again, Chanda heavily involved. Of course, today's fixtures will be followed by a rest day with football back on the 9th. It's on Tuesday. A double action in action against Mamelodi Sundowns in Group A at this very same venue, the 12 o'clock kickoff. Then it's the turn of Olympic de la Moroni of Comoro Islands against Green Buffaloes in Group B. 2.5 hours after the Sundowns game. Young Buffaloes will have 2 rest days. And next play Olympic de Moroni of Comoro Islands on the 10th of August. And maybe some much needed time to just go back and regroup and see how they can best try salvage the situation.
Well, it's a lot about regeneration, trying to get the players to take a bit of weight off their feet, and it's not so much about training when you have that close games back to back. But I think what the coaches are going to do is trying to just refresh them, give them the confidence, the mentality, the regeneration as far as the psyche is concerned. Because you've just had a loss, and you've got to pick yourself up. That is young Buffaloes. Haven't been bad, but they just came up against a very, very good Green Buffalo team.
4 Buffaloes in the hall, being Green Buffalo players.
Well, I like what you said earlier. When 2 Buffaloes meet up, it's only the field that's going to suffer.
The field might suffer. It must suffer.
What did they say? The grass will.
The grass will burn. Will suffer. Yep. We must suffer in the advancement of our entertainment, Faroukan.
Yeah, no, I've been entertained. I mean, I really enjoyed this football game between these 2 teams. Really a credit to women's football. And the interest is going to be huge. I think a lot of people are going to want to watch this tournament to its finality, which is, what, a week from now?
Yeah. And I think as well, foreign scouts maybe looking at tapping into some African talent. Some fresh African talent.
Well, if you were a scout, I'm sure you got one name on your lips.
I've got 3 of them, in fact.
A couple, but obviously there's one that stands out.
Mwemba. There can only be one Mwemba. Two subs to come on for the last 12 minutes. Martha Temba off. But first to come on is Loveness Mulunga. Diana Banda as well comes in for the last 12 minutes. Yes, Loveness Mulunga coming on for the captain, Joanna Banai. That's one young lady who's been on holiday at Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium, put under pressure already. Mwemba, the first mistake she's made in 79 minutes.
Well, I think it's the keeper as well that partially to be blamed, played a ball that she should never have.
That's what happens when you haven't had much to do. I think she's 2 shots on target for.
Yeah, what we seen was that keeper didn't have much to do because of the fact that Muemba and company was so resolute defensively.
Was that from an onside position? Yeah. Isolate, that looked like a tired finish from a tired player. She shouldn't be, because she came on in the second half, that being Makakula.
Yeah. Oh, well, but if you look at how Green Buffaloes have been playing, it doesn't take long for you to tire out.
Young Buffaloes chasing shadows for much of the game. Here's Zulu. Looks long, missed. Followed up by Chanda. And then moved on by Loveness Malunga. It was Green Buffalo showed no love to their very same name, Young Buffaloes. Mulenga, Mailan Mulenga. Wonder if there's any relation to Anita Mulenga. Came on in the second half and scored that goal. Came on for Agnes Musase. There's a mistake there by Chanda.
Our intention was good. She only just laid up. The execution didn't match the intention.
Yeah, you can see their heads have dropped. They're arguing amongst each other. The body language is not good for Young Buffaloes. I think they resorted to the fact that they're a beaten team.
Yeah,
the Buffaloes
clearly
have been put down.
The Buffaloes have been put down.
Lungu, is there still some Buffalo magic left?
Yeah, well, I suppose you could ask what's happened to the Buffalo Soldiers.
I think I'm rubbing off on you, Farouk.
Yeah, your influence. I mean, I must be careful how I choose my friends. They say you must be careful how you choose your company.
It's absolutely pelting down now.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's not much left in this game.
Yeah, just for suppose over 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's a nice idea with the outside of the foot. Keeper Kazula. And that's Mulenga.
This is going to affect their play. It's quality of the play. Defenders are going to find it difficult. Keepers as well.
Chanda as well, Farouk, has an engine of a Ferrari. She's the right horse for this course. The way she just continues to just run and chug away at it, chasing lost causes. I mean, she didn't have to run to the corner flag to save that, but she turned it from a nothing ball to something.
Yeah, and also the composure, Temba. I mean, she could have taken the shot, but she saw that she wasn't. There was no opportunity of having a clean shot at target, and she laid it off. I see the coach there, obviously realizing that there the offer's not the best. 3 goals down. She has to go back to that drawing board.
Ball almost onto Lungu. Again, fighting. You would think it is they that are losing when they lose the ball. So quick to try and get it back.
It's just the work ethic. I mean, this is a well-coached team, well-drilled team. They don't stop running.
And they fight for each other. I've heard of lions moving packs. I don't know that buffaloes also do so.
Well, these are special buffaloes.
Very special ones. And they come in green. And perhaps are they going to leave other teams green in envy?
Sure. Now we're going to another level now. Temba.
Yeah, we are. Let's go. It's Chiwe. Lungu has a quick look over his shoulder, not to be. Ball is eventually allowed to bounce. Chanda, don't think expected that. Oh, mayhem in that Young Buffaloes defense, and guess who profits? Lungu, cool as a cucumber.
Cool as a cucumber. But again, in defense for Chanda, the ball is slippery, it's wet underfoot, was unable to get a good first touch. But as we said, Lunga in the right place at the right time, showed composure, picked a spot, took a penalty like a good striker should.
Real top player, this Irene Lungu. Joins the likes of Andisiwe Mkoyi and Melinda Kadiete.
Yeah,
As,
look,
top goal scorers.
It comes off a foot there, but she, as you said, she never stops fighting, and she forces that ball to be parried back into play, and Lungu there says thank you very much.
While everybody else was panicking around her, Lungu already knew what she was trying to do. That's a real great quality she has. Similar to the icy cold finish she had in the first half, one-on-one with the keeper through and then just slotted it and squeezed it past Sibanze. That was for the first, her second was for the fourth. One for a hat-trick, still time. Chanda on the merry-go-round.
I was going to say, guess who?
Yeah. Really are a team so fit. It has a high work ethic from strikers to midfield to defenders.
It's a collective. This is a team performance from Green Buffaloes. They all work hard, they all run hard, and clearly this is no accident that they are leading by 4 goals to 0.
Farouk, we had 22 goals last year, 14 goals in the first 2 games.
Sure. Wow. Well, you know, you still have what, 6 minutes left on the clock. You could still see
14
a few more.
15, yeah.
Maybe not 7, but we could go to 5.
And the last substitute for Charles Alibono to come on. All right, being Lucy Kajia on for Teresa Chewe. So Lucy Kajia, who is an attacker as well. Look at that. Even when injured, Lungu is running off.
Yeah, I know Lungu is another one to keep an eye on. And you spoke about scouts. I'm sure there's scouts here. If they're not, they're missing out.
They're missing out indeed. Some real top African talent. Young African talent. Mwemba, Sichansa, arm from a distance. That first to the ball. There was a bad pass, but they turned it into a foul.
Yeah, they never stop, and they fight for every ball. They complement each other well. Good, intelligent play. I mean, if you look at the defensive clearance, it was intentionally played for the midfield. It wasn't just like in the old days, away,
Away, boom.
Get the lines cleared. And that is nice to see. You know, centre halves playing out of the back.
The goal scorer, will she try for a direct shot on target? Nope. She looks for a centre-back partner, Mwemba, who's opted to just forego her centre-back responsibility. She wants in on action as well. She says, I want to play like a striker. I want a goal. Oh. First touch, Kachia. Great block. Lungu. She's a problem.
Yeah,
she never stops running.
She's a problem, and fortunately for Ngwandwe, she did ever so well to just get to the ball. Her main aim was, let me get this ball clear out of. I don't want this young lady to get the better of me.
I've really been impressed with what we've seen today. At times, you sit in the commentary box in the stadium and almost fall asleep, but really what we've seen here today in both games, hats off to these 4 sides.
Yeah, we've got to compliment women's African football. It's on the rise. I think, you know, as on everybody's lips, let's inject some more money. Let's ensure that these ladies get their just reward.
A whole lot more money.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to see that if ladies feel they can make a career out of this, we're going to have a good standard of football.
To steal that, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with Tom Cruise. Says, show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Sounds familiar. I can't say I know which movie.
Can't also remember off the top of my head which movie it was.
Was it about the player agent?
Yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr. was his his player, and then Tom Cruise was his agent.
Now you're forcing me to think.
I have to go on Google quickly just for that. So they look forward to young Buffaloes.
Something Maguire, no Maguire, what's it?
Harry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire, isn't it?
Possibly.
Could be Jerry Maguire, I think.
Jerry Maguire, well done. I think it was Jerry Maguire. Well done, Farouk Khan. It is Jerry Maguire.
Good guess. Good guess.
Jerry Maguire. Famous line by Tom Cruise speaking to his player. Cuba Gooding Jr. picks up the phone and says, "If you're really my manager, show me the money."
What an actor, Cuba Gooding Jr. Very long name, but a good actor.
3 minutes of injury time in the meantime gives me a chance to get my colleagues' thoughts, not just on movie subjects, but also on footballing talk. Green Buffaloes, they look as if they are a team that potentially could really give Mamelodi Sundowns, the defending champions, something to think about. Young Buffaloes, maybe the answer is in the name. Experience, not as much as that of Green Buffaloes, but nonetheless a good team.
Yeah, they make up for the lack of experience with a lot of guile and determination. But you mentioned Green Buffaloes. For me, they've really impressed me. Not just from a playing perspective, but from a tactical perspective, from a team perspective. Really the complete overall. How can I put it? The complete package. And it's not often that you see that from a team, especially if you take into account that they've just started their rebuilding.
Last chance for Kajia. Into the hands of Sibanze. They take a big deflection and took a last-ditch tackle. I think that's one thing Sibanze needs to work on. Distribution, should I say.
Yeah, that's one part of a
That's a weakness
game.
in a game.
Yeah. But also what comes out very glaring, Temba, is the fact that when you have a team doing as well as Green Buffaloes, it means so much for the national setup.
And I think, if memory serves me correctly, they are semi-finals in the under-17 COSAFA Women's Championship as well. They were winners in the men's junior under-20. A lot is happening in Zambian football.
What are you saying, Green Buffaloes?
Yeah, Green Buffaloes. No, they're under-20 men's junior national side. Yeah. Then you got the Green Buffaloes as well, who are vying for a title in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Champions League. The national team has got a bronze medal from the recently concluded WAFCON. A lot of good works happening down there.
Well, it seems like they want to get back to the glory days of Zambia when they were such a formidable team. And it's obviously a case of the talent is there. It's just how you nurture it.
You nurtured, well said, Farouk. That should be the last kick of the game, and indeed it is. As referee Joyce Songkwanyatseng blows her whistle in the rain of Clermont. As Green Buffaloes cap off an outstanding performance in the Battle of the Buffaloes. One Buffalo must die, and it was the young Buffalo that was laid to rest, as Green Buffalo was extremely good in their performance and in their approach, their tactical acumen, their individual performance within a collective system. Really great to see. They really must be top of Mamelodi Sundowns' mind in terms of sides that could be standing in their way to a second title. Nonetheless, goals from Lungu, Chanda, Mulenga good enough to see Green Buffaloes of Zambia win 4-0 against Young Buffalo of Eswatini. At full time, it's 4-0.
Is ready and safe to travel. So why not invite Abontase and take a leap from the RB Gorge Swing, the highest swing of its kind. From the mighty Ukahlamba Drakensberg Mountains to the warm KZN beaches, Ziyakhipha. The Zulu Kingdom is an action-adventure paradise waiting to be explored. Unforgettable happens here. Zwagala.
And if you've just stepped in, where have you been? You missed out on one hell of a game in the rain of Clermont. The game did not start off on rainy conditions, was dry. But how about that? It finished that will wet your mouth. Irene Lungu, confident. The build-up play, not to be missed as well.
Yeah, great interpassing, good combination play. But it's, as we said earlier, Temba, the way she held off the defender and picked a spot, Irene Lungu showing her class.
Indeed, so much class in the approach, and it did not end there. It was Lushombo Mwemba from a central back position, playing like a prized winger. Not just the skip, but the pass.
You know, she's really a credit to a country and to a club, Green Buffaloes. Look at her coming from a central defensive position, initiating the play, and what a fantastic cross. Just putting it on the plate there. A well taken goal by Green Buffaloes.
Helen Chanda, the recipient of that pinpoint cross. Sibanze, though, putting her own defenders under pressure and had to save the defenders from that mistake.
Yeah, a little bit careless from her, and you can see the coach there saying, just settle down. I think there's a few moments there where we saw the likes of Green Buffaloes just rushing that final shot, and the keeper had to come to the rescue.
Yeah, how about this for a long-range shot? Deep goal.
Yeah, look, my sympathies with the keeper there. Got caught wanting, didn't expect it. But look at the quality of this raindrop, as we call it.
That's a raindrop indeed. Raindrop, mic drop. As the keeper was left dropped. Now our jaws dropped as well. It's a lot of drops there.
I thought we'd stop the rhymes, but
sorry,
anyhow.
can't help it. And Chanda, the ever hard-working Chanda in the mix. And as a result of her pressure and herring, Lungu in the right place, again showing how much composure she's able to slow things down in chaotic environments. She profited with that one, Farouk. A second in the game.
A second in the awareness. Look at the awareness there. The ball bounces for it, unable to be cleared, and she was composed. You know, when you're in that situation, you often find players going for power. She went for placement.
Oh, placement indeed, and has placed her side in extremely good position. 15 shots on target, converting 4 of those. A great chunk of the position as well. A great day at the office for Coach Charles Halumbo's side. Job well done. 61% possession, that's all you need to know. In the end, far too good in the Battle of the Buffaloes. The Zambians take the points and the bragging rights.
Well, I'm joined by the player of the match, Judith Zulu, and to get her award is the MEC, saying you're Mafimbela to give it to her. Thank you so much,
Congratulations, my baby girl. Well done.
Congratulations, a big performance from the midfielder herself. Judith, let's just talk about your performance today. A big victory for your team. We know that last year you just missed out on the final, but what a performance that your team put up today.
Last year and many more data this year. So how do you feel about the game?
Nambera bwino sinezochetekera kuti ningatenge. Then target yetu inayo yetufuna tenga trophy. Kai last year tesinachokera mumafinga. So aba tufuna tenga cup.
Okay, I feel so excited that I played well, and our target for this tournament is getting the trophy. Since last year we were eliminated during the semi-finals, so this time around our eyes are on the trophy.
Congratulations, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Judith Zulu is the player of the match for that game. We did say that it was the Battle of the Buffaloes as it was dubbed, but it was Green Buffaloes that emerged victorious. I'm joined now by Coach Lope. Coach, let's just talk about your team's performance today. What did you make of your team's performance today?
What I can say is that my players, they played. We tried our best.
more especially in the first half. It's just that we conceded some silly goals. But it was a good experience for us. I will say congratulations to the Green Buffaloes.
Coach Sibatse, your goalkeeper, showing her bit of experience. She tried to keep the team in the game as long as she could. There were those crucial saves she made, but unfortunately, there were those goals that she conceded. But let's talk about the impact of Sibanze today and just how much effort she put in.
She helped the team very well. Those crucial saves, 1v1, she did very well. She's an experienced goalkeeper.
Thank you so much, Coach. All the best for your next game.
Thank you very much.
That was Coach Sope of Young Buffaloes. I'm joined now by Coach Charles. Coach, a gutsy performance. We did talk about your team coming into the game with so much confidence, and that you've got your eye on the prize, rather.
Yes. The girls did very well, though there are certain areas we are supposed to polish up. So we had a lot of chances, but we wasted most of the chances. Yeah.
Coach, a solid backline today. We look at the experience of Mwemba. What a performance today from her. You look at Mulenga, you look at Tembo. Your backline is so solid. They are so together. They are so in sync, Coach. Do you think this is what's going to win you the title? When you just see how you are preventing Young Buffaloes from getting into the final third, preventing those box entries.
Yes. Our strength all along has been based on the defense. We are so solid in defense, then we push the ball up to the midfielders until we get the chances. Yes.
And the quality of your build-ups also. They got so much better in the second half.
Yes, we have been working on the build-up. Some games back we used to suffer with the build-up. Now it is coming slowly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest.
Thank you. You are welcome.
Coach Charles of Green Buffaloes. Quite soft-spoken man, but big gutsy performance from his team as well. So these are the results from match day 1. Mamelodi Sundowns registering a massive victory over Costa do Sol, and then Green Buffaloes also. 4-0 is how things ended between them and Young Buffaloes. We now have 3 players that registered a brace today. Of course, Irene Lungu also being that 3rd player who registered a brace today. And this is how Group A is shaping up now. Mamelodi Sundowns sitting top of the log, but they will be in action against Double Action Ladies on a Tuesday. Costa do Sol will be in action after, but this is a team that knows that they are on the back foot going into their 2nd game. Green Buffaloes as well tops their group with the Olympic de Moroni from the Comoros also yet to get their campaign off to a start. That will of course be on Tuesday. But Young Buffaloes as well, they are the ones that need to show more attacking impetus when it comes to their 2nd encounter. It has been a great first day of the CAF qualifiers. So many goals we've seen. As we've said, 3 players have registered a brace today. So the race for the Golden Boot is certainly heating up already. These are the fixtures that you can anticipate on Women's Day. On the 9th of August, it is Double Action Ladies from Botswana that will be in action against Mamelodi Sundowns, and then Olympic de Moroni of Comoros will be in action against Green Buffalo. Certainly will be interesting to see how both those teams play against the 2 teams that have registered the big victories today. Certainly they are warmed up and they are yet to get their campaign off to a start. Well, that is how we end things off here at the Sugar Ray Xulu Stadium. Match day 1 done and dusted. Tomorrow we do take a break, but we will be back on Women's Day on a Tuesday to give you those 2nd fixtures of this tournament. From me, Mbali Skiti, and the amazing crew behind this production. Cheers, bye.